Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be installing an aftermarket CPU cooler in replacing our stock one that came with the Intel CPU. I did an unboxing on the cooler earlier, and it's the Cooler Master N520 CPU cooler. If you're interested, I'll put an annotation and put the link in the description below. So that being said, the first thing you want to do is remove your stock or current CPU cooler. If you have a stock Intel one, you have these little pins with the arrows on them that are turned, I think that's counterclockwise. Yeah, you turn them counterclockwise and they unlock from the other side. The little pins unlock and releases the fan. Make sure you also unplug it. There we go. Make sure you unplug that first. Also, I took out my video card, so I have a little more room to work with. You could also do the same. And it's recommended sometimes that you take out the motherboard to do this, but I really don't have the patience for that. So what I did was I put two tables side by side. I'm going to be going under like a mechanic to put the other side or the back plate on the motherboard. You'll see when we get there. I'm going to try to do this as best I can. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to scratch all that and take out the motherboard, but let's hope we don't get to that. So yeah, I'm going to take off the stock cooler, and I'll get back to you and show you how to clean the thermal paste, the old thermal paste that's already on the CPU. Okay, so I took off the stock CPU cooler, and as you can see, there's, I don't know if you can see it actually, there's a lot of thermal paste that I had to put last time. I put a little too much this time, but it's not a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down with this is toilet paper. And the reason I use toilet paper is because it's soft, it's somewhat absorbent, and this one's dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, not really wipe, but kind of dab, make sure I don't really spread that thermal paste too much. And I'm just going to get it off as much as I can with the dry toilet paper. And then I'm going to bring in my Q-tips and rubbing alcohol that I have over here. I'm just going to thoroughly clean it, just swab back and forth, make sure there's no remains of the old thermal paste. So yeah, you don't have to use the toilet paper. I just like to, because it kind of cleans it a little better, I guess. I don't know, I like to do it that way. Everyone has their own way of doing it. This is how I do it. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all this thermal paste, and then we'll come back and apply the new thermal paste that I have. Alright, so the next step is to fasten these brackets onto the CPU cooler right here. There's two screw holes here and two on the other side, and that's where you're going to be putting the brackets, and they go on like this, like that. For the Intel version, that is. The AMD bracket is a little different. It's actually easier to put on. So it goes on like that on both sides, and then after we have that put on, then I'm going to take this off. There's like a little plastic cover on that. Then I'm also going to apply the thermal paste just before I put the heatsink on. I don't want the thermal paste sitting there and hardening while I do this. So it comes with these tiny little screws, 4 of them, and they go 2 on each side, obviously. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Let me see if I could give you a little visual on it. Goes just like that. And then this has insulating tape. I figured out that's not double-sided tape. That's insulating tape. How I found out is I tore off a little piece here, and it's not double-sided, which is fine. Alright, this is going to face the motherboard. I'm guessing it's also going to absorb a little bit of heat. Same over here. That is not double-sided tape. That is insulating tape. Okay, and also these anti-vibration grommets or rubber things. This is only for the AMD one. Well, I looked into it, and it appears that the Intel one has little springs on it, so it has like its own little anti-vibration on the bracket itself. The AMD one is just a solid little rod where you slip these on. So if you have AMD, use these. If you have Intel, you don't need them, or at least that's what the instructions say. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put the thermal paste right there, a little dot right in the middle, and then I'm going to place the CPU cooler on top. It's going to go through these corresponding holes over here, and then you're going to put the bracket on. Do not put the bracket on beforehand, because if you put the bracket on, you might put it on a little crooked or whatever. People use double-sided tape, and I guess you would use it instead of this stuff, but put the bracket on after you have the CPU mounted on top the CPU cooler mounted on top of the CPU. So like I said, I'm going to screw these brackets in, take this tape off the base of the cooler. I'm going to put my thermal paste, one little drop right here, and when I say little, I mean a pea-sized, like a pea, like a small pea. And then I'm going to put the cooler on top right here, and then the little pegs are going to go in these corresponding holes. After I have that set up, I'll go under and I'll see if I could give you guys a visual from underneath the motherboard. So yeah, I'll do that and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so I'm just about to put the CPU cooler in there, and I'm going to apply this Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste. That might be upside down. Yep, it is upside down. There you go. Or I don't even know if you can see the Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste. I get this from Radio Shack. It was $12, and the reason why is because it claims to be 99.9% silver, and silver is a good heat absorber, so that is why it's probably that expensive. So I'm just going to put a pea-sized drop right here on the middle. That looks good enough. And there you go. Now we put the CPU cooler on top of that, and we're going to go under, and I'm going to see if I can show you guys how I'm going to put it on without even taking the motherboard out. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I'm here on the opposite side of the motherboard. I put the CPU cooler on, and I'm going to do a little close-up with my flashlight here. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, and all 4 screws showing up. Now, what I'm going to do is I got to find a way to hold the flashlight and grab the back plate. Oh, okay. I got it. Alright. So I'm using my chin to hold the flashlight. This is multitasking at its best. So what you're going to do is you're going to have it like this. You want these top fins for intel. Okay, no, forget the flashlight. So you want these fins on top for intel, and you want it upside down like that with the bare back here for AMD. So whichever side has the, if you have AMD, use the fat side with all this insulating tape, and if you have Intel, you're going to be using these tiny little brackets out the corners. And you want to just pretty much align it up, make sure the screws go into each slot, and those bolts that came with it, you're going to screw it right on top of that once you align these. I'm not going to do it right now just in case I mess something up, move it out of place, because I'm looking through the viewfinder here. And yeah, so this is one way to do it without the motherboard being taken out. So yeah, I'm just going to put this on the back. You're going to tighten it in a crisscross pattern. So you're going to put it one here, let's say. You're going to do the other one, I'm pointing with my pinky, on this side right here. So crisscross on each one. Make sure you tighten it evenly. Evenly distribute the tightness of it. You do not want to mess things up at this point. So yeah, I'm going to put the back plate on, and we're going to go back up top and see what's happening. Alright, so screw it in there nice and tight. Once you feel some force, you don't really want to tighten it any further than that. Like when I say force, I mean like you really have to put strength into it to turn it, because you could end up cracking the motherboard if you tighten it too much. Another thing I want to mention is right here, they include a jumper for you to connect both fans to one, I guess, cord, you could say. But I went ahead and did that. I guess they give you the option if you want to run one fan or have both of them running simultaneously. So I'm just going to go ahead and have both of them, because I want ultimate cool. I don't really care how loud it gets, because it really doesn't bother me. So I have the fans facing this way, because this front one, it's oriented so it sucks in the air, and over here this back one, it pushes it out, and I have another fan here to get it out of the case. So it goes in through here for my case fan, which is right up here in the front, right there. It goes in through there, out through here, and out of the case right there. Now that is some great airflow. So I'm really excited to turn this on. It's going to be awesome. I plugged it in right away, because you do not want to forget to plug in your CPU fan. Bad things will happen, I guarantee it. But thanks for watching, guys. I will have pictures up, and I will have a video up of how to do this, obviously. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you need any further assistance, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.